Welcome to the pre-match show presented by the Brian Burt's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Burt's Home Selling Team. Visit brianburts.com or call 915-751-1500.
It's a hot one in downtown El Paso. Fans making their way into Southwest University Park to watch two of the hottest teams in the USL Championship. Second place in the West on the line tonight, and so are bragging rights. El Paso Locomotive FC versus San Antonio FC in a Copa Tejas battle. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Duke Keith alongside Colin Deaver. Rachel Phillips will be pitch side for us a little bit later on. Colin, the weather has been hot and dry, and Locomotive's offense, sadly, has been kind of reflective of that. Not many goals lately.
Not at all. None since mid-June. It's been over 200 minutes on the field for El Paso since their last goal versus Tampa Bay. But it's surprising because up until that last match against New Mexico United at home, they had scored in every home match except for the opener. But they got Petar Petrovic back in the last match. No doubt he will help that attack tonight.
And attack is going to be key versus the team that has the most goals in the USL Championship. That attack will be called upon. A true battle for second place. If we have a winner tonight, that team will have 34 points, tied with Sacramento. Republic has wins against both El Paso and San Antonio this season, though, so head-to-head goes to SACTA. A draw like we saw in the first matchup would keep El Paso in second place. Locomotive with more wins in the season. They do have a game in hand against San Antonio, so more possible points for the Locos.
Now let's take you back to June 10th in the first matchup between these two Texas sides. Back and forth we went in this one. Locomotive FC conceding early. Mitchell Tainter with the goal off the corner kick for a 1-0 San Antonio advantage. That would be short-lived, though, as Daron Gomez would answer 7 minutes later. The ball over the top, taking a page out of the San Antonio playbook, slotting it home from a very difficult angle to tie up the game. A physical match with San Antonio, man marking the entire game, 31 total fouls, and then in the second half, it's Samuel Adeniran getting San Antonio the lead. El Paso at that time on that 12-match unbeaten streak, and who else, though? When they needed it most, it was Lucho Solignac late off the feed from Miles Lyons, volleying it home. The first round of this one did not disappoint as El Paso escapes with a point.
And so far, both teams have had really good seasons. What's interesting is the culture their head coaches have established. El Paso, with Brian Clairhout taking over in 2023, has fostered a team-first mindset. Players sacrifice their own stats for the good of the team. Everyone's bought in. On the other side, Alan Marcina. Pretty much the same kind of team effort and team mindset. Head coach since 2020, before that an assistant in San Antonio. He's been able to build a club that has been a consistent winner since he took over, and obviously the defending champions of the USL. There's star power on both sides, but ego is put aside for the greater good.
I don't care for assists and goals right now. I just want to win. At the end of the day, I can have 10 goals and still lose the championship, or I can have hopefully 0 this year and win a championship. My name will still be in the history books.
This just feels good for all the work that we've put in for all the guys, from Jordan all the way up to our back five, our defenders, everybody, our midfielders, our forwards, all the work that we put in. It just feels good to finally, get that 0 at the end of things.
Certainly great stuff from both. Eric Calvillo scored 6 goals last season. You heard it from directly from him. What matters the most to him is winning. Meanwhile, Tani Uluwasiye comes in with 9 goals in 9 games, 2 hat tricks on the season for San Antonio, but he's talking about the importance of not conceding goals after the Memphis victory. Both these teams have high-character guys that are willing to do whatever it takes to win. For us, that means we get to watch 2 passionate teams, Duke, with a ton of heart, fight it out for 3 points.
We got ourselves a good one tonight. Copa Tejas action on a Wednesday. Locomotive FC, San Antonio FC next.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso. Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
Legacy Fighting Alliance brings the first ever MMA event to Southwest University Park on Friday, August 4th. Sabina Mazo headlines the night. Don't miss out on any of the thrilling action. Tickets are on sale now at southwestuniversitypark.com and the Durango Street box office. Doors open at 6 p.m. on fight night with the first bout at 7 p.m. and the main card at 9 p.m. Special thanks to our sponsors Speaking Rock, Bud Light, Cesar Ornelas, Subaru El Paso, and Barrio Eats and Drinks. We'll see you at Southwest University Park on August 4th.
Welcome, everybody, to Southwest University Park. Duke Keith along with Colin Deaver with you. Rachel Phillips again pitch side here in a little while as we get ready to tee things up on a warm Wednesday evening in El Paso, Texas. Let's quickly take a look at the starting lineups. First for Locomotive FC, Ricardo Zacarias out with an ankle injury. It's pretty much the same lineup, though, as in Monterrey.
Yeah, the exact same lineup, which of course will be Lucho Solognac, the leading goal scorer for El Paso Locomotive FC up top. Across the middle, Eric Calvillo has been a rock there, along with Liam Rose, of course, Dennis Castichin, Aron Gomez, and on the back line, Bensei Pakovic has played every single minute this year for El Paso Locomotive FC.
For San Antonio FC, the defending USL Championship champions, it is another starting lineup for this bunch. They've had lots of injuries, lots of call-ups, lots of send-downs, lots of players on loan, but Alan Marcinez made it work.
Coming into this one, 17 different lineups used in 18 matchups for San Antonio FC, so they've had a lot of people in and out of the lineup, but it really hasn't affected their play. They sit tied with El Paso for second place in USL Championship's Western Conference as we enter this match, Duke.
As you see, San Antonio with first touch today in their traveling red uniforms. Locomotive in the dark blue. We are underway in this Copa Tejas match from El Paso, Texas. And immediately San Antonio going long up that right wing and the throw in for Eder Borelli. Eighth notch in full voice. As always, you have to think that they're well lubricated for this warm evening.
Even on a Wednesday night in El Paso, you know, they get off work early.
Sure,
of course, you got to take some time off when there's a Wednesday match day. Certainly with the Hawaiian shirt giveaway night.
Oh yes.
I would imagine there's a few people who are lined up outside the stadium tonight to get one of those as well.
Good to see Brian Clarehout on the sidelines. Over the top, it'll come harmlessly to Locomotive FC. Benny Diaz. Diaz, USL Championship save of the week versus New Mexico United. That's week 17. And it was critical, though Locomotive did lose that match. It would have been a much earlier deficit had he not intervened in the first half versus United.
Yeah, Benny Diaz really kept them in that match for the duration of it. Of course, United getting a goal in the 89th minute to eventually go on and win. But how about that save? Diving to his right, saving it and deflecting it off the post, and certainly a well-deserved USL save of the week. And his counterpart tonight, Jordan Farr, is just as good, if not better. Of course, the goalkeeper of the year last year.
And of course, San Antonio right at it. The headed pass, if it was an attempt up front, looking for Tani Olawashe, would have been offside. As it was, Locomotive and Eric McHugh able to get that up and out. McHugh's been something of a story himself. Young man taking over for Yuma. The team captain has been on an extended injury leave. And on the team of the week for his efforts versus Monterey Bay, a 0-0 draw.
That's certainly well deserved. I believe the third time this year that Eric McHugh has actually been on that USL team of the week. Very much an unknown commodity for Locomotive FC coming into this season, but he has played his role very well.
Of course, San Antonio will press heavily. Locomotive works it out to Eder Borelli. Hines dispossessed.
Of course, San Antonio coming off, Duke, that 4-0 win on the road at Memphis last Saturday. So impressive. And a lot of their goals, in fact, the first three came out of this high press, forcing Memphis turnovers in their area that San Antonio was able to capitalize on.
Well, Alan Marcina keeps it simple. And certainly it worked to great effect in that championship ride in 2022. Nothing complicated about what they do, but As we take a look at our Casa Ford keys to the game, dealing with that press is going to be a big one.
Yes, certainly. That's the number one, second one on there. Manage the press, of course. We've already seen that from San Antonio. Brian Clarehout wants to see Locomotive FC score the first goal. That's very important because San Antonio is unbeaten in their last 56 matches when they score first. 47 wins, 0 losses, and 9 draws. And the ball over the top, of course, pace and speed from the guys up top is deadly for San Antonio. They have a man with 9 goals in 9 matches with San Antonio. That would, of course, be Tani Uluase, as well as 4 assists. So certainly dangerous in that final third as they have a corner kick now.
Forcing the corner. Locomotive deflecting that one over the byline. So first corner of the evening to San Antonio. We have not yet hit the 5th minute. Lofted to the far post and chipped. Yes, on it. They got it right where they wanted it to go to Mitch Tainter, lurking on the far side. And yes had his angles covered and the distribution. Intercepted by Tainter. Looking up the way for Justin Dillon.
That was nearly reminiscent of the start San Antonio had last month in the Alamo City off a corner kick. Tainter opened up the scoring for San Antonio off of a corner kick with his head. That one, Benny Diaz was able to handle.
Borelli will take his time to throw it in, working as team captain for Locomotive FC. It's a good touch by Aron Gomez. Trying to work something with Lucho and Nick Hines. San Antonio's all over it, though. Oluwaseyi gets a touch, bounces harmlessly to McHugh. Clear his lines. And a dash for it, Ismail Ajom. 28-year-old coming to San Antonio from the Portland Timbers. Of course, Oluwaseyi on loan as well from Minnesota United. Adrian Heath very impressed with the young man. They took 17th overall in the draft. And just wanting to get him some time with a good team.
And he's certainly gotten it again. Just came to San Antonio, I believe, late April. Only has played 9 matches, but already second in USL Championship with an unreal scoring output. 9 goals. He's got a couple of hat tricks, including last Saturday against Memphis. Also 4 assists. You have to wonder how long he's actually going to be on loan with San Antonio. Does Minnesota United say, hey, we've seen enough. We need you back here with us soon at the MLS level, because they have not exactly been doing as well as they would have liked to, I don't think, this year.
No. I think Adrian Heath might be tempted to pull the trigger if they can get some scoring. Of course, Timu Puki joining the Minnesota United lineup, which is a proven goal scorer.
That's Timu Puki of the Norwich City FC Canaries. That is my English soccer team.
Oh, really?
Actually.
Norwich
Yes.
and headed back to the Premiership, correct?
No,
Did they get promoted? No,
not this
they
time.
didn't?
They yo-yo back and forth quite a bit.
Yes,
Nate
they
Ryan
do.
loves to make fun of me for that. Of course, San Antonio sports broadcaster who jumped on board with the Norwich train with me. But unfortunately, Duke had a struggle in the championship this year.
That's going to be a direct kick. The foul call, they thought it was it calls for a handball, which it kind of looked like that. We'll see on the replay, but a dangerous free kick right outside the box. And they might have been bailed out. Mark Navarro wanting the handball, he won't get it, but he did get whistled for the foul. And it appears Jorge Hernandez will be the man to take it. 22 years old.
Had a goal, 2 assists in that win over Memphis for San Antonio on Saturday. So he's been fantastic since he joined from a club in Belgium in April.
Hernandez over the wall and over the bar. On target, at least within the left and right post, but sails it over the crossbar.
Yeah, certainly a fairly well taken free kick. Very dangerous spot from Hernandez. Certainly, as we just discussed, Duke kind of has been the hot hand for Memphis of late in that midfield, and allowing him to ride that a little bit there.
Locomotive Still looking for a little offensive purchase tonight. San Antonio with a lot of possession, although that hasn't been a statistic that has served them well, Colin.
It has been quite impressive how poorly San Antonio has done when they have controlled the possession. They have 3 losses in USL Championship play this year. All of them have come when they have won possession over their opponent, and just 2 draws. All 9 of their victories, including US Open Cup play, have come when they do not control possession. So maybe if San Antonio does own possession, that's good for Locomotive tonight.
Over the top, Navarro gets a piece. Take it on the far side, they'll work it around. Diaz will step in. Locomotive FC certainly looking for a little offensive purchase, not only in tonight's match, but it's been over 200 minutes since Locomotive has scored a goal. And just looking for a little push, I think, offensively. Still looking for that in this match. We'll wait to see where that ball falls. Before he picks it up, it will be a goal kick over the byline. Let's head down to Rachel Phillips for more on this Locomotive team. Defensively, Rachel, Locomotive has been doing quite well. I know Brian Clairhout had some thoughts as we're kind of just past the midway point of the season.
Yeah, that's exactly right, dude. Locomotive midway into the season now officially. And look, it's been a pretty good first half if you take a look at all of the stats. The best unbeaten streak the club has ever had, 12 that is, in that stretch. They've also had 9 wins, 6 clean sheets, as well as an unbeaten record on the road. But players and coaches still feel their best football is ahead of them. Head coach Brian Clairhout, when asked about how he'd grade the first half, said, quote, "I'd give it a B. There's always room for improvement. It's a fantastic group to work with, and we've grown and developed different ways on how we want to play. I'm happy to see how we've developed as a group, both on and off the field. And guys, veteran players and young players alike both feel like this has become a family here. They do things together outside of training. You've got eat meals, coach youth players, join each other's live Instagrams, and lots of top golf, a real bond. And look, this defense is going to need that bond right here with this corner kick."
Indeed, another corner. Second of the night. Jorge Hernandez to deliver the service. Left-footed in-swinger all the way to the far post. Diaz got a paw to it. Did he touch it? Indeed he did. Corner kick from the other side.
Certainly a dangerous start to this match, Duke, for San Antonio. And already a second corner kick, a third coming up. They've more or less lived in the El Paso half of the field for the first 12 minutes of this match.
Oluwashi delivers the corners from the left side for San Antonio. 4 assists on the season for the young man to go with those 9 goals. And it'll be another in-swinger. Far post, knotted out. Navarro gets ahead to it, but a throw in for San Antonio. Kind of get the impression everyone's taking their time a little bit as the weather's pretty warm.
We do have confirmation that we will have 2 hydration breaks in this match, one in the first half, one in the second half. So no doubt the players and the officials on the field tonight will appreciate that.
Tainter, a heck of a throw in. Popkovich heads it out, but here's Tainter again. Too far. And coming up in a little bit, we understand we're going to have a nice surprise for people. If you've been paying attention to Locomotive's social media, and to yours and Rachel's as well.
Mostly Locomotive.
Mostly Locomotive, sure. But coming up in a matter of minutes. Diaz. Distribution to Hines.
What Duke's talking about, I think, will give new meaning to the phrase "park the bus." That gives you a hint.
Well put.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well put. I like that.
It'll be parked in our studio for about 15 minutes. Who knows? It
Right,
may
it
be
could go
longer.
longer.
It might just be the whole rest of the match. I don't know.
Yeah. If it happens, it happens.
I'll go with the flow, dude.
Here's the free kick. Eric Calvillo. Certainly Locomotive under a lot of pressure from San Antonio. We have seen this before. Locomotive will play out of the back. And gradually, they work their way into the match. But you know who I haven't seen touch the ball, at least so far tonight, is Dennis Kostic. Here's Borelli. Aaron Gomez into space. That's a nice ball, but too far ahead for Hines. Easy grab for Jordan Farr, USL Goalkeeper of the Year in 2022.
How about him? Man of many talents, this Jordan Farr, though. He was featured in a couple of different Old Trapper beef jerky commercials in the offseason.
I saw some of the outtakes from that on social media.
He's
hilarious.
Funny. He is so funny. He has a second career as an actor if he wants it.
Indeed.
Has a mustache that anybody would be jealous of as well.
There's something about facial hair in San Antonio goalkeepers. Matt Cardone, of course, with the beard of beards. That man could weave a Navajo rug.
Of course, they were trying to feed Dennis Kostic there on the wing. But to your point, Duke hasn't really been involved much just yet. He has obviously been a big part of their build-up in many of their attacks this season. Maybe he hasn't netted as many goals based on how many shots he's taken, but when he is playing well, that's not in terms of when Locomotive is at their best. That's how I feel it is. When he is at his best, they are at their best.
Another throw-in for San Antonio, deep in Locomotive territory. They'll go short here to PC. Little battle for it, Navarro and PC tangling. Both of them coming out the worse for wear. PC a little more so. It's Hernandez, my apologies.
Well, certainly we saw in the match in San Antonio last month the physicality of that 31 total fouls. A little bit of a rivalry brewing between these two sides, I think, Duke, and maybe you're seeing a little bit of the starts of that tonight here.
Kostic down on the far side, right at the Locomotive bench. And it was deemed to be a foul, free kick to Locomotive on the restart. But over the top. Lucho. Brian Clairhout makes his game adjustments that we've seen throughout the season. Things don't go particularly well. The coaching staff for Locomotive finds a way. Let's send it down to Rachel for more on that.
Yeah, guys, in most games when you score first, naturally you have the upper hand, but scoring first tonight seems really pivotal in determining who will win this game.
And there's a shot, and it's off the post.
The guy who we're talking about, Dennis Kostic, just going for it right there. We know he loves shooting, and like I said, tonight shooting and scoring early is going to be pivotal because dating back to 2021, San Antonio are 47-0-9 when scoring first. Yes, undefeated in their last 56 matches that they score first. You got to go back to the 4th of October 2020 for when they scored first and lost, and that's a really scary stat for the Locomotive because right now they haven't scored in their last 5 games. They haven't scored first, that is. So looking to do that tonight and hopefully not give San Antonio the upper hand and allow that stat to continue.
They'll take the short corner. Back out to Liam Rose over the top, into the middle. Lots of red shirts there.
That was almost the goal of the year by Dennis Kostic. And I didn't totally get a great look at it from up here, but that replay, I mean, almost had far beaten. He had to obviously make a fingertip save and deflect it off the post. That was an incredible one.
It took a deflection on the way out, and it hit the post. And it was, I mean, I think it was an important deflection. I'm not sure who touched it. But great action here. Aaron Gomez trying to make it work. It'll be a goal kick. Gomez last to touch the ball.
Of course, he scored his only goal of the season at San Antonio back in June from a very difficult angle to draw El Paso level in the first half. So maybe he's able to continue that account against San Antonio this season. Hasn't had much success scoring against other teams other than them, but maybe he can get that going again tonight.
Toe-to-toe with Fabian Garcia, the Frenchman. One thing we've known about Garcia since his days with Austin Bold is he likes his shorts tight. Almost compression shorts sometimes.
I wouldn't feel more agile, but maybe he does.
You know, and a free kick specialist when they need him. He's scored some incredible free kicks as well. Backline defender for San Antonio, but lots of offensive talent too. So a good foray for Locomotive off the corner kick, won by Castilla.
We made that point about the possession in terms of wins and losses for San Antonio. As much as it really has felt like they've controlled it, El Paso's actually winning the possession percentage right now, 57% to 43%. So
that's insanity.
Yeah, so while it's been condensed into this half of the field, it's really just the pressure that San Antonio applies on Locomotive and all of their opponents that makes it so difficult.
Shannon Gomez mishits that. It'll be a goal kick for Locomotive. Gomez coming over from Sac Republic, 26 years old. Capped by his national team, Trinidad and Tobago. Justin Dillon intercepts that. San Antonio ready to go right back to work, and a foul. Right at the midfield strike, Navarro. He and Jorge Hernandez have shared a number of early memories here tonight.
Getting to know each other quite well, it seems.
We're to the 21st minute, and the restart will come right at the midfield strike. Corey Hayes will elect to go back. Section 105 keeping the noise levels up here tonight. Well touched, Gomez. Deserts him a little bit as he comes in. That's stuck over the bar. Rita Zuhir.
San Antonio has quite a few players, Duke, on loan from MLS clubs or players who just recently stepped down from MLS clubs to USL Championship. Rita Zuhir, one of them on loan from CF Montreal this year. 2 goals for San Antonio in the 9 games that he has played for them since coming on loan, so has been productive in his time.
Alan Marcina has certainly resurrected more than one career from former Major League Soccer veterans. That includes Lucho Solignac. Well won. Hernandez and down. This may be very dangerous indeed and close to a yellow card for Bence Pavkovic. Rather McHugh. And another dangerous free kick from right outside the boxes. Hernandez has taken more than one seat from more than one Locomotive foot tonight.
And again, like you said, El Paso a little bit fortunate that this is where it's going to be taken from. We had a similar free kick that El Paso took on the other end against New Mexico United. Interesting place to have to take a free kick from, but nonetheless dangerous.
Very acute angle. Once again, Oluwaseyi. He'll go direct, but it's actually bounced off the foot of Joe. And on the break, here's Aaron Gomez. Thrown off the ball and earns the foul. Lamar Batista takes him down from behind, and that's exactly what Aaron Gomez wanted to happen.
And maybe a little bit of what Lamar Batista was trying to do as well. You know, he's going to have some potential numbers for Locomotive. Lamar just settling things down, letting them get their shape again.
Professional foul surely, but I think Aaron Gomez knew he wasn't going to be able to outdistance. Tackle, Hines taking off the ball. Here's Hernandez. Backing around to Gomez. Miscommunication. Justin Dillon trying to receive that from Ja'Cory Hayes, and it'll roll out for a Locomotive throw.
Curious if Brian Clare, again, obviously he said he wants his club to score first in this match, but not as many fireworks as we saw in the first match between these two sides. 2 goals, I think, within the first 20 minutes. This one much more even-keeled as they worked their way into it. I'm curious if he prefers that. I would imagine he does.
I would think, yeah, having a goose egg on your side of the scoreboard is exactly what any coach wants. Alvin Marcina too, for that matter. They were 2 very early goals. Here's Aaron Gomez. Makes a move on the byline and earns Locomotive another corner.
Second corner of the match for Locomotive, already 3 for San Antonio in the first 26 minutes here.
And it will be the Ukrainian, Denis Kostishin. Slow roller, they'll play it short again. Calvillo trying to get it go, and read very well at the back line. Chipped up and over. It'll go out for a Locomotive throw, but on El Paso's half of the pitch.
Snipped out nicely there by San Antonio FC on the corner.
Indeed, and it was Hernandez again. Locomotive will have the throw, but the opportunities few and far between, Rachel Phillips, and Locomotive needing to make the most of the opportunities they do get.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Duke. You know, Coach Clare Hart wanted to see them make the most of those opportunities.
Here indeed, Lucho trying to get a hold of that, but with him stride for stride. And at the back line, able to push that up the pitch. San Antonio yet again. We'll let Rachel complete her thought. Rachel?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, just because they're getting so fewer opportunities, capitalizing is becoming even more critical for the Locomotive here tonight.
Through ball, Calvillo's going to get it by far, rolls it far post, trying to repeat the feat for Aaron Gomez. Too hard an angle.
Nearly did it, though. Would have been his first goal of the season. Scored 6 last year. Has had a bit more of a defensive role this season for El Paso Locomotive FC, but that would have been fantastic.
You've heard him talk about it before. He doesn't care. Calvillo trying the through ball to Gomez. He doesn't work. He'll get his own bounce. Calvillo taken down in the box and penalty. Immediately. The whistle from Sergei Demyanchuk, our referee tonight. Let's take a look at the foul. Mitch Tainter over to plead his case with the referee. And it's the takedown.
I believe the first one.
It was the first one kind of sent him over, but it's the second one that pushed him down. And either way, a couple of touches. San Antonio living dangerously in the box as Eric Calvillo started the action. It was his pass in, trying to find Gomez, deflected back out. And Calvillo, weaving his way through, earns the spot kick. And he will be the one to take it.
Certainly an unsung hero, as we've discussed. You just said it, Duke. He doesn't care whether he scores or not, but an unsung hero will get his opportunity to get Locomotive FC on the score sheet first tonight.
Eric Calvillo. From the spot, looking for his first goal of the season. And how about Lucho, who usually takes these penalties, giving that to his teammate, the El Salvador international, to give Locomotive an unlikely early lead in this one. He goes to the far post and puts it home. 1-0 Locomotive in the 29th minute. Eric Calvillo rocks the baby. Shout out to his new son, Locomotive. As we crest the 30th minute against the run of play, you've got to say, I don't care what the possession stats are, Locomotive with a 1-0 lead.
That one was for Enzo, no doubt about it, as you see him rock the baby, sending Jordan Farr the opposite direction. And the first man he finds is Lucho Solonyak, who you just mentioned usually takes these for El Paso, but it lets Eric Calvillo have his moments, and he takes full advantage of it right there. Against the run of play is exactly right. Majority of the match has been played in El Paso's defensive side, but Eric Calvillo taking advantage, rocking San Antonio to sleep into the hydration break.
And with that, we have our hydration break. Just in time for everyone. Locomotive, the Hawaiian shirts. Some people came ready. Like adding to the Hawaiian shirts, you've got grass skirts and the whole bit.
I need one of those.
Locomotive FC leading 1-0 as we take a break to water the field and water the people. And we promised a special surprise tonight.
And no better time for it either.
No better time than right now with Locomotive taking a 1-0 lead. We want to welcome our friend Nixon. Nixon, how are you? It's
awesome. It's great to be here, and it's I'm enjoying it. This is what I love. You feel at home, and I'm glad to see that my brothers and my team is leading. So we're gonna keep it up and try to make it a more than a 1-goal lead.
Nixon Altidore.
That's correct.
If you remember the last name, I think that if that last name sounds familiar, you are a distant relative of Josie Altidore, correct?
That's correct. Yes, sir. So I'm related. He's my far cousin from my brother, from my dad's side.
That's right.
So me and Josie, we have a relationship.
And Nixon, of course, the bus driver for Locomotive FC in their exciting 1-0 win in Albuquerque against New Mexico United. And you probably have seen Locomotive social media. Nixon, you got pulled into something that turned into a huge celebration. What? Who pulled you in? Did they take you right off the bus?
Peter was the one that called me in. As a matter of fact, they got me worried that day. In Albuquerque, it was a little bit heated.
Yeah.
The fans were a little, they're pretty heated. They were, especially when we scored that goal, and we were afraid.
Yeah, here's a look at your celebration.
Yeah, look at
Pets are
that.
pulling you in. What is this like? You've obviously been a bus driver for a long time. Have you ever had a trip like this?
I've had something similar, but nothing at this, at this energy and this, this was a whole different level. So when Peter called me and said, we need you right away, we gotta get on the bus. I ran and thinks, wow, my guys are out. The team's, fans are angry, so I didn't want my guys out. So I started running back to the bus, and when I came in, it's like, oh, we need to get you inside. Here's a celebration.
So you were worried for everybody.
Yes, I was worried because the fans were pretty heated. I was expecting something else because of, but when they pulled me in and I was like, oh, let's join this. This is what, I'll be one with the team.
Well, this is, it's great to have you here, and I know that your friends on the Locomotive bench, you still keep in touch with the players. You've made one trip with this team, and Brian Clairhout has said Nixon is the man, as Colin Deaver put it on social media.
That's
You
right.
are.
That's right. Yes. So, like I say, Brian, the moment that Brian stepped into the bus, we connected right away. So, just like Brian says, I'm the man. I say he's the man as well. Like I always say, Brian, I'm the man only when you're not around. The moment you step in, you are the man. I'm just a man.
You obviously had to, or what they told us is you initiated a little bit. You had to stand in front of the club and sing a song. Is something like that? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So the coach was talking about each one of the players was to they have to sing it out, and I was so into it, hearing the guys singing, and all of a sudden, they're like, well, it's your turn. I'm like, what? Bus driver's turn. I was like, you know what? So let's do it. So I come in and I drop a song just like them.
What song did you choose?
As a matter of fact, it's a song that's pretty it called by Mario Wen. It's called I Don't Want to Know. If You Play Me, I don't know if you heard of that song.
Yep.
Deaver is Mr. Karaoke.
I'm not a human jukebox quite like Nixon, but that's awesome. Obviously, you just talked to your cousin is Josie Altador, but soccer's your favorite sport.
That's correct.
How did you grow up playing? I mean, give us a little history on your background with soccer.
Yeah, so I was great like in the island. That's why I have a little bit of accent. First language French, so that always sticks around. But I was raised playing soccer over there in the island. Haiti, was raised in Haiti, so and that's the background of Josie as well. So this is our men's sport, So coming in the States, so I play to high school. I play in college, and I was in UTEP. I played a little bit, and I also wanted to play professional, but due to circumstances of me saying, okay, I wanted to join the military, I made that choice instead. So, but nevertheless, soccer is still in my heart. This is who I am. So.
Well, Army veteran, National Guard reservist, and we understand that in your time in the reserves, especially, you did a lot of hurricane relief work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
There was a lot of it. I didn't have a chance to go abroad because also my MOS, and also there was always a lot of needs around here to keep me in the States. So.
That's an offside flag on San Antonio, which is fortunate, perhaps.
Yes, it is fortunate for us.
Justin Dillon was off to the races. But you've enjoyed your time in El Paso immensely since that New Mexico trip, and you and your family have been able to come to a few matches now.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I've been in every single match. I've been in every single match. The only match I think I missed was, I think I only missed one match, and they were playing.
That was the last home match versus New Mexico.
Yeah. It's because you had to work, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
you got called out to another trip.
Yeah, so I had to go to California. So as a matter of fact, we had a trip. Google.
Yep.
Everybody uses Google. I had to drive from Google.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I had to fly to California and drive from Google. So that keeps it over there, and also. Yeah.
But you were watching the match while you were there,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So you really haven't missed a match.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm not here, like I told them, like I talk with the team via Instagram messages and WhatsApp. I was like, guys, I'm always with you guys. If I'm not here physically, I'm here in the spirit. I'm always watching the game.
And I want to point out too, obviously, you drive the bus. They get the big win on the road against the rival New Mexico United. The second you walked into the booth tonight to do this interview was when they got the penalty and scored the goal. So a little bit of a good luck charm, aren't you?
Yes, I truly believe that. I was talking to Brian. I saw Brian, I believe on Wednesday. I went to the sports center, and I went to support the team, as I mentioned. Even Brian was saying, if you were here, it would have been different. Something about your energy. I was like, yeah, I truly believe that. If I'm here, the team's gonna win. I believe that. Might sound funny, but I think I bring that good luck charm.
Well, you sit in section 109, and apparently you've made friends with a very famous Locomotive fan.
Yes.
Banana Man.
Yes.
There he is, our friend Alex.
Yes.
Has he drunk you into any of what the Banana Man is famous for, which is what we're watching?
Yes.
He has. Okay.
Yes.
Well, then good. You're in the spirit of things, aren't you?
That's right.
Since you sit with him, do you know has he told you what the origin of the banana is?
No, we never had a chance to touch that.
Okay, I need to ask him.
Yeah, I was always curious. As a matter of fact, Banana Man, if you look at his outfit right here, in the middle of his outfit, he has my autograph.
Yes. Oh, you signed the banana as
Yeah,
well?
I signed
Oh,
the
that's
banana.
awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody signed Banana's costume.
Yeah, he told me, I need your autograph. You are Nixon, I need your autograph. So it was awesome.
I hear Rachel Phillips has a question for you. Rachel.
Yeah, Nixon, I hear you've got a couple kids who are also big soccer fans.
Yes.
What do they think of you and the fact that the entire team brought you into the locker room? I mean, if I was your kid, I'd be like, my dad is the coolest man alive right now.
Yes, I think you say it under that. So when I showed them that video, they were so proud. They're like, Dad, wow, just got you. Like, you know, you blended so well with the team. We wish you were there. We want to be part, you know. As a matter of fact, every game that I've been with, I bring them with me. So as my kids are currently watching the game, so they are very proud of me and also proud of them. So yeah, they are with me 100%.
Nixon Altidore with us and with you tonight. It is such an honor to have Nixon, the bus driver.
Me too.
Well, we thank you for coming up here tonight. We're going to let you go back and enjoy the match with your kids for the rest of it.
Absolutely.
Continue
It's
to
a
be that
pleasure
good
here.
luck
Thank
charm.
you for inviting me in, and you know, like I say, I'm here, so I'll be in every game, so you can expect that, either physically or spiritually. I'll be here.
Okay, well, we'll be looking for it.
If San Antonio ties it up, we might call you back up here.
Exactly.
You got it. Yeah, I'll be in. I'll bring down Luka Charm and get another goal in the field.
We need your WhatsApp number then, right?
Yes, sir.
That's how
All
the
right.
team keeps in touch.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much. Nixon Altidore with us and with you. Nixon, the bus driver. And now a famous part of Locomotive lore. That's one of the coolest things about sports, Colin, is it's the stories off the field.
And Nixon has one of the most incredible stories I think I've ever heard just from any individual.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, invited is Ismail Ajon trying the shot. It's deflected over. Goal kick coming for Benitez. Well done by that Locomotive back line. So the penalty, the difference so far, you saw Lucho, excellent effort by Lucho Solignac on the other side, stings the palms of Jordan Farr. And as we see Farr pick this up, well positioned this time. Rachel Phillips, I know you were curious about our friend Alex, the Banana Man's backstory. Talk about another man who's kind of worked himself into Locomotive lore. Rachel Phillips has his story.
Yeah,
Rachel, why is he wearing a banana costume?
Well, yeah, it looks a bit strange, right? Not only is he wearing the Banana Man costume, but he also is great at chugging beer. I actually walk past his section like multiple times a game, so I always chat to him. And literally last game I said, hey, by the way, how did this start? Why did you decide to wear a banana suit to a Locomotive game? And honestly, really genuinely funny story. It was a yellow out for one game, and the only thing that he had was yellow was this random banana suit. So he wore it. People loved him. They put him up on camera, and at that moment, he had a beer in his hand. He thought, well, what else am I going to do? So he chugged the beer. And that is the origin story of the Banana Man. Now he wears that banana costume to every game, and if you are ever here, you see him on the big screen multiple times a game. And he, yes, continuously chugs those beers. Very impressive, really. He should be an Australian by nature.
Yeah, his stamina is quite impressive.
And he's got here's what I find more impressive. Usually Banana Man does not have a shirt on underneath.
No.
But he's got his Hawaiian shirt on tonight. That is his fiance sitting with him. And of course, Banana Man, I don't know if he's got like one of those little fans that blows spray. But
and that's real love right there if you're hanging out at a soccer match with a man in a banana suit.
Honestly, yes.
Guys, when I walked out onto the pitch tonight in my beautiful Hawaiian shirt, he was also obviously wearing the Hawaiian shirt underneath, and he was like, Rachel, we should have coordinated. We shouldn't have worn the same outfit today. But I said, hey, at least we both look really stylish, and honestly, he looks even more stylish because he's got the banana suit on as well.
Absolutely.
We just saw Nixon with Alex, the Banana Man, so.
He's already back.
Oh, world's coming together.
Outstanding.
But his story, how about that from Haiti? His words, hurricane relief. I mean, it's just incredible everything he's done in his life.
Here's Aaron Gomez, nice through ball, forces the defensive play. Farr will have on the deflection from Batista. A shout out to Alex and his fiancee Catherine. There's our man Nixon.
Alex might be hurt, but that's the I think, third or fourth drink we've seen him down in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Hurting is relative if you're Banana Man.
He's feeling good now.
Yes.
Who knows about tomorrow? I know.
Well, that's the one thing I wanted to bring this up with Nixon. Obviously, we just didn't have the time, but one of the things I remember from my years of traveling with the old El Paso Buzzards minor pro hockey team was the edict: you take care of the bus driver. And Justin Dillon doesn't take care for that kick from Mitchell Tainter, taken out by his own teammate.
Friendly fire there.
Friendly. Not good. Let's take a look at this one and see. Mitch Tainter. Ooh. That could be delicate.
No.
That could be delicate. Justin Dillon.
Take all the time you need, son.
Right, exactly. Walk it off. Who says soccer's not a contact sport? And apparently, he's going to go back to the touch line and get looked at. There might be some leakage in terms of like blood from the nose area.
That's what it looked like. Obviously, you can't be on the field if there's any kind of blood on any kind of your body.
So apparently they will stop the match for just a touch as Dillon gets tended to. It is a throw-in for Locomotive FC. Well, San Antonio's had some forays. Lucho, nice little nutmeg of Tainter, trying to work it up to Aron Gomez. The foul is called on Gomez. Aron Gomez a little the worse for wear. Justin Dillon back on the pitch. A free kick for San Antonio FC. There will be 4 minutes of stoppage time, and that's a minimum, right?
Right.
With that last little stoppage there, we might have a touch more, but purely up to our referee tonight, Sergei Demyanchuk. We've had an eventful first half. Locomotive with a 1-0 lead. 29th minute penalty kick converted by Eric Calvillo for his first of the season. On the restart, knocking that down is Borelli. Effort stinging. But Benny Diaz is on top of that from Zuhir. And Borelli is down. It looked like that directed, that flicked header that he was trying to get up and out of the box might have taken a little more out of Eder Borelli than at first glance. Benny Diaz on the restart. Eder Borelli walks it off. Soccer ball doing a little more damage, I think, than many of the feet and the ankles.
Yeah,
leg whips.
The last couple of minutes has been brutal. It's like a bludger in Harry Potter or something.
Up and over, flag is up. Wouldn't have counted had it gone in. Oluwayeshi.
To this point, El Paso has done a pretty good job, I think, of containing him. Of course, coming into this match, 4 goals in his last 2, a hat trick in the last match. 9 goals, folks, in just 9 matches played, and hasn't been involved a whole lot tonight, Duke.
Oluwayeshi. Seems to be a collision of heads there between Lucho and Batista. Won by Locomotive. He tried to find Lucho, who gets a piece of that. It'll deflect out for a goal kick.
Looks like he's going to get up and be all right, but certainly needs a shot to the head.
Take an extra moment.
Take a look, yeah.
Yeah. Into what unofficially or officially is our final minute of stoppage time. We might have a little extra.
Would be surprising if they do, but certainly Benny Diaz trying to waste a little bit of time here.
Batista intercepts. Dealt with well along that right side of San Antonio's by Liam McHugh. Dillon. Hines with him. Liam Rose tries the restart, but there for it is Fabian Garcia. Gomez. Hernandez, nice cutback. Draws a crowd. Sliding tackle, Borelli.
What a play.
Borelli special. Draws the contact, Locomotive. They'll play on. Nick Hines can't get it over the midfield stripe, and here's Tainter. Trying to turn Zuhir. Flicked by Calvillo. Rose and Zuhir meet. San Antonio pressing here in the late going of this first half. Hernandez sent in by Gomez and cleared away. Locomotive. And that will be that for the first half of play. About an extra 30 seconds of stoppage time from the called for. 1-0 Locomotive. The 29th minute penalty converted by Eric Calvillo. The El Salvador International. San Antonio's controlled the proceedings, but they trail here in the first half.
First time El Paso has taken a lead first in a match since they played New Mexico United June 3rd when Nixon was here.
Back after this.
Your adventure is calling during the summer drive at Casa Ford. Gear up for the summer of a lifetime with thrill-seeking savings on a great selection of rugged trucks and SUVs. Your journey goes further when you shop at Casa Ford. Get 0% APR financing plus $1,000 customer cash on a new Ford F-150 XLT. Chart your course to Casa Ford during the summer drive going on now.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Legacy Fighting Alliance brings the first ever MMA event to Southwest University Park on Friday, August 4th. Sabina Mazo headlines the night. Don't miss out on any of the thrilling action. Tickets are on sale now at southwestuniversitypark.com and the Durango Street box office. Doors open at 6 p.m. on fight night with the first bout at 7 p.m. and the main card at 9 p.m. Special thanks to our sponsors Speaking Rock, Bud Light, Cesar Ornelas, Subaru El Paso, and Barrio Eats and Drinks. We'll see you at Southwest University Park on August 4th.
Welcome back, everybody. Southwest University Park is the place as the water. We wish we could spray that up here in the press box. 1-0, Locomotive at the half. To Keith Collin Deaver with you. Shout out to Benny Diaz as we take a look at our USL headlines. Diaz winning save of the week. This is for week 17. The fingertip save by Benny Diaz against New Mexico. Voted the top save by fans. The El Paso keeper managed to get just enough on it to have it change direction and hit the post. We take a look at the Western Conference standings. There you see it, Sacramento Republic. 34 points to top the conference. San Antonio and Locomotive each there at 31. Locomotive with a game in hand and with one more win. So we'll see how that goes, but 31 points right up there at the top, tied for the Western Conference lead. Switchbacks FC right behind them at 28. San Diego Loyal, Monterey Bay, Phoenix Rising, and New Mexico United all above the playoff line, followed by Rio Grande FC, Rio Grande Valley, coming here Saturday, and they have points in their last 4 matches. Oakland Roots, Orange County, Las Vegas Lights, little dip in form for Roots FC, and Rio Grande Valley RGV nipping at that playoff line in the West. Let's take a look at our storylines. The save of the week was Benny Diaz's fingertip save against New Mexico, voted the top save by the fans for his Week 17 effort versus New Mexico United. Managed to get just enough on it to have it change direction and hit the post. And there it is. That is a great, great angle on that. The shot coming in from Bruce, Daniel Bruce with the effort. Diaz gets a touch, and that kept it from being an early 1-0 lead. Of course, New Mexico did end up winning the game on an 89th minute goal by Santi Mawar, but Benny Diaz winning save of the week. Elsewhere in USL headlines, El Paso extending the contracts of Bence Popkovic and Miles Lyons. Bence Popkovic has played every USL minute of every USL match for Locomotive FC this season. The Hungarian, very happy to have him back in the lineup for 2024. Miles Lyons as well. Young man, just 20 years old. He's been a part of this for a couple of seasons and has been an absolute stalwart for Locomotive FC, moving back and forth between himself and Mark Navarro. Clarehout has dubbed Popkovic the silent assassin, shutting down opponents. Lyons, every regular season match so far this year, he has seen time. And Stephen Glass, named Coach of the Month for June. The Memphis 901 FC head coach earns the honor for last month. Those are a look at your USL headlines. We've got plenty more coming up for you as we continue the GECU halftime show here from Southwest University Park.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Behind. Now it comes for Valesky. Tries to leave it there for Gleedle. Sam Gleedle. It's a tap in for Christian Valesky. And Monterey Bay are absolutely flying tonight. Pomasoso. Right through the middle. Johnny Rodriguez. Rodriguez scores! Something out of nothing for the Oakland Roots.
Back in El Paso, Texas, where Locomotive FC leads San Antonio FC 1-0 in a battle of two second-place teams in the USL Championship's Western Conference. A look at downtown El Paso, the famous Plaza Hotel, and here is the highlight of the first half. How about the goal that has Locomotive FC staked to that 1-0 lead? First, Eric Calvillo going down in the box, a penalty whistled on number 5 for San Antonio, that of course being Ja'Cory Hayes, and then Calvillo rocking the baby with a beautiful penalty kick taken. We can discuss the penalty itself, the foul itself, but you can't discuss how well of a penalty that was taken by Eric Calvillo. And here you go, the rock the baby. One more look at it, sending Jordan Farr the opposite direction. El Paso Locomotive rocking them to sleep so far in the first half, leading San Antonio FC 1-0. The second half of action back after this in the Sun City, where we see the same fireworks that we saw last month in the Alamo City. Stay tuned.
Get your keys to adventure during the summer drive at Casa Nissan.
Map out big savings when you start your journey in a new Titan, Pathfinder, or Rogue.
Whether you're searching for the lost city or the biggest savings of the summer, your adventure begins at Casa Nissan.
Get 0% APR on a new Nissan Rogue or 0% financing for 60 months on a new Nissan Titan.
All roads lead to Casa Nissan.
How I drive in the 915.
Home of the nice guys.
Yeah.
Brings the first ever MMA event to Southwest University Park on Friday, August 4th. Sabina Mazo headlines the night. Don't miss out on any of the thrilling action. Tickets are on sale now at southwestuniversitypark.com and the Durango Street box office. Doors open at 6 p.m. on fight night with the first bout at 7 p.m. and the main card at 9 p.m. Special thanks to our sponsors Speaking Rock, Bud Light, Cesar Ornelas, Subaru El Paso, and Barrio Eats and Drinks. We'll see you at Southwest University Park on August 4th.
Welcome back, everybody. A look at Crazy Cat Mountain here in El Paso. Out on the west side, 1-0 Locomotive FC. Duke Keith and Colin Deaver with you from Southwest University Park. And a very interesting first half. Chock full of goodies for you on the broadcast with Nixon, and chock full of goodies for Locomotive fans on the pitch. 1-0. Most important stat of all, Eric Calvillo converting from the spot to give Locomotive the lead. Total shots, I'm a little surprised it's that close, honestly. Shots on target, the same, 2 apiece. And passing accuracy, as you might expect in a battle between teams that don't mind lofting balls over the top. San Antonio, that's the way they play. Locomotive will play that way if they need to.
Yeah, it's certainly obvious. San Antonio wants to do that high press. Much of that first half was spent in El Paso's defensive portion of the field, but they handled it well, obviously controlling possession. Only 2 shots on target for San Antonio, and El Paso, of course, the most important stat of all, as you said, has that 1-0 lead.
We'll come back with highlights and plenty more second half action as well on the other side of the break. 1-0 Locomotive under the darkening skies here in El Paso.
Legacy Fighting Alliance brings the first ever MMA event to Southwest University Park on Friday, August 4th. Sabina Mazo headlines the night. Don't miss out on any of the thrilling action. Tickets are on sale now at southwestuniversitypark.com and the Durango Street box office. Doors open at 6 p.m. on fight night with the first bout at 7 p.m. and the main card at 9 p.m. Special thanks to our sponsors Speaking Rock, Bud Light, Cesar Ornelas, Subaru El Paso, and Barrio Eats and Drinks. We'll see you at Southwest University Park on August 4th.
Welcome back, everybody. Southwest University Park, 1-0 at the break. Duke Keith, Colin Deaver, Rachel Phillips pitch side. Will be with Rachel here very shortly. But let's take a look at some of the first half highlights as Locomotive FC leading 1-0 at the break. And there were some fireworks. Oluwaseyi. I'll get that name right. Oluwaseyi. Sending that one over. Benny Diaz able to stiff that one away. Lots of corner kicks early. And then great action here. One of the first touches of the ball by Locomotive's own Dennis Kostashin.
Yeah, that was kind of the moment I felt like where El Paso got into the game, because their best chances came almost immediately following that, leading into this penalty kick by Eric Calvillo.
And Calvillo was, you didn't see that before, but his pass trying to find Aaron Gomez in the box, deflected out by San Antonio, brought in by the El Salvador International, and he gets to rock the baby after Lucho lets him have the spot kick opportunity. Let's send it down to Rachel Phillips for thoughts on the first half. Rachel, what are you looking for?
Yeah, Duke, I mean, for the Locos, for me, it's they want to start the second half how they finish the first. They definitely look like the more dominant team by the end of that half, and they were limiting San Antonio's opportunities there, and that'll really be a key moving forward. The Locos will want to be scoring more goals because San Antonio, well, they're one of the most lethal teams when it comes to goals. They have the most goals in the league with 35, and in their last 9 games, they've scored 24. So they are usually lethal in front of net. Locos have been doing very well in sustaining that and not letting them score thus far, but that will be the key moving forward. For me, like I said, I want to see the Locos score more goals. That way, if San Antonio do get some goals here, they will be able to kind of run with them. And for me, that would be bringing on guys like Chris Garcia or Manny Sanupe, who have just got that speed and can really add an extra layer of effect here to this team.
You've got to think that Miles Lyons will make his way on the pitch in relief of Mark Navarro at some point. That's the way it's been throughout the season. Either one of both of them starts and the other takes over. Colin, what are your thoughts? What do you think Locomotive needs to do to hold on to this?
Certainly, I think they need to handle the pressure that San Antonio's going to lay on them. Obviously, down a goal at halftime, they're going to ramp up the pressure that they're already putting on. You have to weather the storm in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the second half. That's always a key for me. You just can't concede early.
Alan Marcina, of course, has been around San Antonio.
Website would have shown that, and certainly the first minute or so, San Antonio coming out with some fire behind them.
Oluwashi takes it from the left. That'll be deflected out. It's well done by El Paso. It's Borelli getting a touch. Rather, Aaron Gomez. Lofted out, it'll be a San Antonio throw. We've got to think that Alan Marcina's side will come out and apply pressure. Mitch Tainter. It's interesting, guys who started off somewhere else and came to San Antonio. Tainter was one from Sacramento Republic. Jordan Farr another. And of course, all of the loanees that we've talked about. Alan Marcina finds a way to make things work for the San Antonio FC team.
They've had to play so many different lineups this season. Again, coming in, I think, 17 different lineups and 18 matches entering tonight. I mean, that's very difficult to do, and it certainly shows that the prowess that Alan Marcina has as a manager to kind of blend these guys into one cohesive unit. Say, hey, we're playing this way. Whether you like it or not, you got to get used to it. You got to be able to do it, and they've managed to do it, obviously, at a very high level this year, but of course last year when they won the league.
Good effort there by Nick Hines coming in centrally to win an action for Locomotive FC. Hines with his foot on that. It will be a San Antonio. Farr coming from Indy 11, an emergency goalkeeper loan in 2021, and then he stayed.
He's found a home. Started all 34 matches that he played in last year for San Antonio. I believe it's 17 and 17 this year. The goalkeeper of the year at the entire USL a season ago. The player of the month for the month of March in USL has just been fantastic for them. And you always love to see that, right? You like to see a guy who's kind of found his home with the club. Logan Ketterer had that for a few years in El Paso. Benny Diaz, it seems maybe that new guy here, but Jordan Farr, no doubt, has been the guy, the man between the posts, like they say, for San Antonio. Has been fantastic.
Well, you know he's liked the move, and of course, you pointed out earlier doing those beef jerky commercials. I mean, if you're doing beef jerky commercials, it's got to be good. Oluwashi gets an effort to that. Diaz able to slide that one home, and on the break, Aaron Gomez.
Almost disaster there for Locomotive FC. Benny Diaz coming off his line, well off his line out of the box and making that sliding clearance.
Batista puts it in touch for El Paso. Kostashin. Fancy footwork here. keeps possession. Liam Rose scuffs it, but it finds Borelli. He'll loft it in, looking for Lucho. Lifted out by Garcia. Headed back in by Gomez. They'll let it bounce. That's a good effort, trying to knot it in. Kostashin. Give and go with Navarro. Nothing comes of it.
Here, and certainly better than they began the first half here tonight.
Kostashin and Navarro, who's also inside a little bit. The right foot doesn't work. He'll try the left. Fonzu here. Cleared away by San Antonio. And here is McHugh. Navarro rolls one. Again, Batista on it. But Locomotive asking questions. And now here's Hines. He'll have a go off the crossbar. Chested down. The whip kick. Kostashin wide.
Well, it was a mistake by San Antonio. Defender trying to clear it, but right to Nick Hines, Duke. As good of a shot on goal as you're going to see from him. Unfortunate to have it hit the crossbar, as it certainly beat Jordan Farr. And then Dennis Kostashin with not a half bad attempt at a rebound attempt there as well, as we got a substitute.
Justin Dillon, his night is done. Shaken up by the friendly fires you talked about earlier for Mitchell Tainter. Yes. Nacho Bailone, the Argentine, coming off, and Kostashin takes a spill on the turf.
Turf shot got him. Right there between third and short.
The hot corner. So San Antonio making the first substitution tonight. Bailone on to replace Justin Dillon.
Yeah, Duke, and that's actually a really massive substitution here for San Antonio. They're looking to score goals, and he's a guy you want to bring on because he's second on the team for goals scored with 4 this season, 3 of which have come after he's come off the bench. It's exactly what he just did, just stepped onto the pitch, and that's exactly what San Antonio want from him, is another goal to level things up here.
The 12th man tonight. Will he prove to be a difference? That'll be a foul on Tainter. Take a look at Nick Hines' shot again. Oh. And to step it forward all by his lonesome. Get it up right side to Lucho. Batista gets a little piece of Lucho's foot on the way. Batista.
Attempted goal as we get another look at it, ricocheting off the post, would have beaten Jordan Farr.
Here on the other side, San Antonio. Flag is up. That's about as far up the pitch as you can get to be offside. About a foot off the byline, but it was offside. So the goal kick coming. San Antonio 8-3-7 this season, 18 points. Locomotive 9-4-4 and 17 points. Second place and top spot in Copa Tejas for the USL. If not, the Copa Tejas Shield, which is MLS and USL teams through the Lone Star State, is up for grabs tonight.
Certainly bragging rights in the Lone Star State. Always fantastic when you can bring that home.
Gomez around to Jaume. Hernandez. Move it back and around to Batista. For San Antonio, the defending Copa Tejas champions. Knocked in by Jaume, and right to the far side. They found the man they were looking for, Bailone, but he misses wide. Goal kick coming.
As Rachel said, 3 goals off the bench this year for San Antonio. Dangerous anytime he comes onto the pitch. Certainly looking for him in that moment to try to find the equalizer.
Looked like Pavkovic in pretty tight. Nowhere for Batista to go, and Sergei Demyanchuk wants to restart. This one will bounce kindly for Lucho, the back heel. Kind of catches a piece of Batista, who cleans it up. Zhu here long, looking for, but not finding really. Bailone. Calvillo over the top. Too far ahead for Hines to make an effort. But you can see what Locomotive is trying to do.
They're certainly trying to stretch that field now. Maybe play not as much the heat. San Antonio is certainly used to heat where they're from, but you know the altitude, which we talk about here, is maybe you start to handle the altitude and and this oven type heat. It can get tough for San Antonio.
That's a great ball for Navarro from Gustafsson. Off to the far side. One by Lucho and for Hines. Recycle. Calvillo. Seeing eyes from the Ukrainian. Over the top. Too far ahead for Lucho.
Very creative though from Gustafsson. We've really seen that kind of come out to play a little bit for him in the second half.
Oluwaseyi, one of the first touches he's had this second half. As he's talked about, though, he's a team-first guy, too, as his 4 assists attest.
Well, the first thing he said after getting a hat trick against Memphis on Saturday was that he was happy that they got the clean sheet, which they hadn't been able to get in a few matches.
Oluwaseyi, off and in! Off the crossbar to equalize out of nothing. We're tied at 1. Tani Oluwaseyi. You'll see that on the goal of the week.
His 10th of the season, again in just 10 matches now, midway through for Oluwaseyi, on loan from Minnesota United. And we're going to get a look at this. Like you said it best, out of nothing, kind of against the run of play.
Strike it, it's Rita Zuhir, 18-16. Zuhir with an absolute bullet. Call it 30 yards off the byline. As he gets the assist, Oluwaseyi, it will be his 5th assist, so he gets a point from that. But Rita Zuhir, the Canadian, just 19 years old, and what an absolute rocket. Lightning from nothing. 1-1.
His 3rd of the season. Again, we spoke about him earlier in the match, Duke, on loan from CF Montreal. And you get a taste of what he can do. Another one of the strong strikers that they have for San Antonio FC. They kind of grow on trees down there.
They work it around, don't they?
You lose Samuel Adeniran, as San Antonio did. He was on loan from St. Louis FC, goes back to them a few weeks ago, actually scored 2 goals in a win over San Jose Earthquakes. But you lose him and you replace him ho-hum with Rita Zuhir, who's got the ability to do that. I mean, it's just depth, and again, shows why they were so successful, have been so successful, defending league champions.
That's going to be a foul on Hines as he takes down Shannon Gomez. And Sergei Demyanchuk looks like is headed to the pocket for a booking. Either that or a talking to. Okay, no yellow. Let's send it down to Rachel Phillips for more on San Antonio.
Yeah, Duke, coming into this game, they led the league in goals scored, and that continues now. 36 goals they've scored and 25 in the last 10. And while that is all very impressive, it's even more impressive when you look at who they've come from. 14 different guys have scored and 16 different players have had an assist for San Antonio. They have depth, they have star power all across the field, and that is why they are such a threatening team, not only this season, but of course last season when they won the Cup too.
Zuhir looks to be the one to take it. Run over Zuhir. That is headed out for a San Antonio throw by Lucho. We're hearing Emma Sanupe about ready to enter the match tonight. So, as Locomotive did versus San Antonio has done versus Locomotive. Opening goal is matched.
Took a little bit longer than it did for Locomotive and San Antonio last time around.
Indeed.
But to Rachel's point a second ago, 36 goals now for San Antonio. That's the most in USL. That's 4 more than anybody else in the league, just to give you another idea of just how promising and strong their attack has been.
Boys who here. My goodness. Had to be a good 27, 28 yards off the byline. Just hammered it. Off the crossbar and in. And here is the substitution. Emma Sanupe coming in to replace Nick Hines, who has run the race tonight.
Been pretty solid as Nick Hines up top. Again, we've seen him mostly play as a defender in his time for Locomotive FC. Has had to play a little bit more of an attacking role in the last few matches, but nearly had the second goal of the night for El Paso a couple minutes ago. Would have been important if they could get it.
And then for another one. My goodness gracious, off the set. And it's San Antonio FC. It is Zuhair's night tonight.
That high press really starting to get to El Paso clearly, and kind of out of nothing again. Very similar to the last goal he scored, Duke.
Zuhair has found a spot to beat Benny Diaz twice tonight. This one coming in the 62nd minute, and San Antonio from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. Lost up top. First time effort by Zuhair and the Canadian into the far corner.
You could paste those goals on top of one another, and you might not be able to tell the difference between them. That's how similar they were. He runs to the corner spot on the opposite side of the field to celebrate. What a night for this young man.
19 years old, the Montreal native with 2 tonight. Well, they got the effect they wanted from bringing Nacho Bailone on, though it is not Bailone who scored the goals.
Is Nixon ready to come back up here? Is he ready to sub in?
Yeah, we might need to do that. Put a call down to Section 109. Set down to Rachel Phillips for more.
Yeah, guys, this place absolutely stunned right now. I'm sure you heard a lot of the booing coming from the crowd. A lot of players up in arms, as well as coaches. In fact, we did just see a yellow card shown to one of the assistants from the Locomotive for what they had to say after that goal and letting it go on.
There was a foul that precipitated, I guess, the giveaway. But Zuhair not waiting around to hear a whistle. Here is Kostashin. Good effort by Jean.
San Antonio now, a span of about 18 minutes, totally flipping this game on its head. El Paso finds itself in the same situation they were in San Antonio last month, trailing by a goal in the second half, trying to find an equalizer. It's a situation they've been in quite a bit this season, and they've excelled at it, but just 1 goal, Duke, since June 17th. Do they have enough for it tonight?
Looking for a second here tonight. It's a good effort by Borelli, but nobody in blue nearby. Zuhair. San Antonio FC, of course, leading 4-0 versus Memphis 901. Didn't have a single shot in the final 30 minutes of the match, but they didn't need one.
They're certainly comfortable playing without possession, and now that they have the lead, Duke, they don't need the ball. They just got to defend as ready to get a foul here on San Antonio.
Navarro tangling with Hernandez. Those two have gone at it all night.
I know I read it earlier in the match, Duke. I just want to do it again. When San Antonio has control of possession in a match, 2 draws, no wins, all 3 of their losses in USL play. When they do not control possession, which they are currently not, El Paso controlling 54% of it, they have 9 wins, 5 draws, and just 1 loss. It goes against what you would think would be the case for one of the best soccer teams in USL, but in fact, it's not.
Here's Kostashin. Knocks it in, wrapped by Farr. Saw where that one was headed and was there in a flash. The outlet to Gomez. Good work by Aaron Gomez to stay with Shannon Gomez.
What do you call him, the only box-to-box striker in USL?
Yes. Showing it there. We're hearing Connor Maloney about ready to take the place of Ismaila Jome for San Antonio. Leading 2-1. Here is Jome. Jome sets one up, scuffs off the foot of McHugh. Easily controlled by Diaz. Right up the gut. Sanupe distributes to Kostashin. Well done. Kostashin trying to lift one into the box. Will have a second effort. The shot deflected right in front by Garcia. Here's Jome.
Certainly the mindset Duke has to change entirely for El Paso than it was at halftime, maybe protectively. Now, of course, you're trying to equalize. And the mindset completely has to change.
Well, Awache trying to go over the top to no avail. Locomotive will come down with that. Well, this is a team that has been resilient versus San Antonio. We've seen it on the road in the Alamo City, Rachel Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, not just resilient against San Antonio, resilient all season long, and this just another test of it. You go back to the start of the season, they lose the first 3 games. Everyone's questioning what this team is and what they're made of. Then throughout the 12-game unbeaten streak, they often found themselves down a goal and needing to score either the equalizer or the winner. And now coming off their first loss since the start of the season and a scoreless drought that stretches to 2 games. And then in this game, now finding themselves down a goal. While they don't necessarily like putting themselves in these positions, the team feels like they're made for these moments, and they've proven it time and time again this season. So right now is no different. They know they've got the guys, the mentality, and the drive to bounce back yet again, and now it's just time for them to show it to us.
Lucho earns a free kick from a dangerous spot here. Calvillo, Kostashin both behind the ball. We'll see who'll take it. Call it maybe 24, 25 yards off the back end. And we have seen it. Locomotive, second in the league in results earned from losing positions. And that is an important stat to keep in mind as we are into the 69th minute.
It's a club that has a leadership council, so certainly a backbone behind them, a strong will, as Rachel said, and these 3 men standing over the ball right now, all 3 strong free kick takers, so we'll see who gets the call here.
Calvillo, Navarro, former Premier League, La Liga veteran, and Kostashin. It'll be Calvillo over the top, too far over. And we have our substitution, Connor Maloney, coming on for Jome here in the 69th minute.
El Paso only using that one substitution thus far. Manny Sanupe coming on for Nick Hines. Petar Petrovic, striker, I believe 3 goals on the season before he got injured in May. Have to imagine we might see him tonight to see if he can give them a late boost. Miles Lyons got an assist against San Antonio to equalize the match in the second half. So there are pieces that I think you could see potentially here tonight to help El Paso get over the hump.
Certainly wonderful to see Petrovic back in the lineup and on the pitch versus Monterrey Bay, we should say. There's the Swede coming over, Serbian ancestry. But the man Brian Clairhout hated to play against, so when he came to El Paso said, hey, Petar, want to come try and play in the United States? San Antonio still high pressing.
He's just got such a flair to his game that when he's at his best, and we'll see if he comes on, if he is again, still trying to manage that injury and get fit, but when he's playing at his best, there are very few players in USL like him with his talent.
We have seen him take shots from acute angles coming in, and it looks like he is starting to work out. We might have a triple substitution. It's Chapa, Miles Lyons, Petar Petrovic. So Brian Clairhout, to your point, Colin, not waiting long.
You must have a microphone in the booth down there or something.
John Brooklow giving last-minute instructions. His coaching staff has made plenty of adjustments in the past. San Antonio, what a night. The brace for Rita Zuhir, native of Montreal, has put Locomotive on its heels this evening. You can make all the substitutions and adjustments you want, but when you've got talent like that, both goals from roughly outside the area. Well, one in, one out, but still, from distance, that's really saying something.
And again, just kind of having a shot just to see what happens. We've seen Dennis Castician do a bit of that this year and hasn't had as much success clearly as San Antonio has tonight, but that's why you do it.
Rolled into space by Castician, but off the run, and that's going to be a foul on Navarro. With a little push on Batista, the Spaniard getting into it. I think he knows that he's about to be subbed off, so, you know, get your money's worth.
Something like that. We've discussed it multiple times already, the coming together that there were at San Antonio about a month ago with Lucho Soloniak, Shannon Gomez, Mitch Tainter got involved at one point. It's Copa Tejas, a little bit of a rivalry developing between these two sides, no doubt.
One thing I didn't hear was actually a whistle. So rolled over, it'll be a goal kick. No harm, no foul. And it will indeed be Miles Lyons coming in for Mark Navarro shortly. Along with Chapa Herrera for Liam Rose. And Petar Petrovic in for Aaron Gomez. Speaking of a guy who's won the race. It's touched out by McHugh, who thought he got a piece of the San Antonio player on its way over the touchline. Hernandez has taken some abuse tonight.
Certainly has. Not quite as much as Justin Dillon, but certainly his fair share.
It looks like it'll be a Locomotive throw as we get ready to bring in the subs. So the triple substitution here in the 74th minute for Locomotive FC.
All three of these guys at different times you have made impacts on this club. We talked about Petrovic, Miles Lyons, a couple of important assists for this club this year, and Chaparrera always just solid in that midfield, of course, coming off an ACL injury from a season ago, back with the club, playing kind of a lot in this role off the bench in a substitutes role, or you know maybe it's a start, comes off early in the second half, but he has also been important at times as well.
Petar Petrovic back onto the pitch. And Chapa Herrera. I guess they'll wait for this action before they bring him on. So the double substitution. Yeah, here we go. Chapa is coming in. So Liam Rose came in off the far side. He'll walk around. And it will be a throw for Locomotive FC. What will the substitutes yield? Here is Petrovic's first touch. Borelli scoots it back, and that'll be a foul. Gets caught up with Bailone. Petrovic to McHugh. Sees an opportunity to step in and takes Hernandez to school. Nice ball to Kostashin. Trying to lift it in.
Oh,
Here's Lyons.
Certainly lovely there from Eric.
McHugh doing a number there. Locomotive earns the throw. Sanupa spins his man and earns a corner kick off of the legs of Batista.
This is better here from Locomotive FC. I love the turn from Manny Sanupe. Obviously another substitute coming on to earn the corner kick, and getting a little bit late here for Locomotive. They have to strike now.
Kostashin as we hit the 77th minute. Left-footed effort, knotted in and over the bar. Chaparrero was there, or Miles Lyons, pardon me. Took a deflection over, so another corner coming. To the far post, Lyons trying for the dramatic. It doesn't work. McHugh whistled for the foul. A push before he set himself up. Let's send it down to Rachel Phillips for more.
Guys, you talk about how much we need from these substitutions right now if the Locos are to come back and tie things up or win this game. And when you look at Peta, I know you were talking about all his stats, but when you look at the stat predictor, guys, get a load of this, what he brings to this team now that he's back on the field. They now have a 62.5 win percentage in general, not necessarily in this game. Compare that to 44.4% when he is on the field. And the goals scored jumped from 1.1 to 1.8. That's how much he brings to this team. And it's going to be crucial that he does exactly that in these remaining minutes.
And we will have our hydration break here in minute 78. So a bit late. It's almost like they forgot.
They forgot it was hot, even though they're standing out there in it, dude.
Let's take a look at our goal scorers. First half goal scorers here tonight. We're going to take a look at the two top men for Locomotive FC, Lucho Solignac, and of course, Tani Olawashi for San Antonio. This is an amazing thing when you look at the statistical comparison. Lucho a little more involved defensively, but their goals and their production has been on another level all season long for the both of them.
Second and third, respectively, in goals in USL Championship. Lucho for El Paso, third with 8 of them. Tani with 9, second place for San Antonio FC. Interesting here, Duke. Tani for San Antonio has made 5 what they call key passes and has 4 assists out of those passes. Lucho 17 what they call key passes and just 1 assist, and his passing accuracy a little bit better than Tani. But I think we see a little bit more, watching El Paso Locomotive FC, Lucho involved a bit more in the connecting passes that set up goals, whereas Tani is more or less a finisher in the box. He's So, well, but both of them get the job done. It's nothing to discredit anybody. They both do an incredible job of just getting it done in the box.
Olawashi suspended after a red card for the match in San Antonio on June 10th. Lucho, of course, scoring the tying goal in that match. Can he manage the same feat in front of the home crowd? Section 105 looking for something to cheer. The drum beats continue, but we are into the 80th minute. Petrovic out of the back. That's a nice touch of the ball. It's lifted up by Borelli. Petrovic taken down, and a yellow card is going to be shown. Batista draws the caution in the 80th minute, taking down the Swede.
Referee, no doubt, trying to let Petrovic play as much as he could to get the run of play going, but as soon as he goes down, it's certainly a clear yellow.
Petrovic drives one to the far post, and Farr is on it.
Tough to say. I think it was planning it as a cross, but just a little bit too far over. But we've seen him do that before, where it looks like he's trying to make a pass and it actually ends up going in the goal. So dangerous from everywhere.
High into the night sky for Farr. That'll settle. Bailone's going to get there. Nobody in support. And of course, we mentioned it earlier in the first half. Lucho Solignac kind of finding his way back into the game with San Antonio FC after MLS didn't work out. Send it down to Rachel Phillips for more on that.
Yeah, Duke, he had a hip injury in the MLS playing with Chicago and didn't play the entirety of 2019. San Antonio head coach Alan Messina, though, took a chance on him and signed him with San Antonio. And even though he didn't know what they'd be able to get out of him, he scored 8 goals in 16 games with them and is very grateful to Messina for the opportunity to get back in the game, because without that chance, he doesn't know if he'd be here playing for the El Paso Locomotive now, which is honestly pretty wild to think about considering how much of an integral member to this Locos team he is. I mean, he's the team's all-time leading goal scorer and the guy they go to in moments like right now.
This one will bounce Oluwaseyi's way. Petrovic trying to run it down.
I know Lucho Solignac, the only time he'd come to El Paso before signing with Locomotive FC was during the pandemic, so he was a little nervous about it just because he didn't think there was anything to do, but of course that's because it was the pandemic. There wasn't much to do anywhere. So certainly, as Rachel said, found a home here. I know Locomotive FC is very happy he's here as well.
I think one of the great things about Locomotive FC and El Paso, especially for players who speak Spanish, Sanupe, get some help from Kostashin, can't make anything of it, is culturally, everybody fits in so well. Spanish is spoken regularly throughout the city, and that has to be a boon, not just for players from Mexico, the Eder Borelis of the world, and Aaron Gomez, but for Lucho Solignac, an Argentine, Mark Navarro, a Spaniard.
And maybe I should let Rachel tell this story, but there's also multiple members of the team that aren't native Spanish speakers that are trying to learn, Rachel.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Deeves. Liam Rose, Manny Sanupe, Eric McHugh, and Miles Lyons have been taking Spanish lessons together for a while now with Language Plus. They go 2 to 3 times a week. I actually got to go with them to a lesson just this last week, and they told me it's not something they ever thought they would be doing, but here in El Paso with a Hispanic community and a team that speaks mainly Spanish, they thought it was important to learn the language that most of their team members speak. And look, they said that honestly it feels like they've become closer with the team, and Benny Diaz told me that for him it just shows him that they care so much about their team and wanting to be a part of this culture, and it means everything to him to hear them speak Spanish. And he actually said, you know what? They're pretty good at it. He was kind of surprised how good they're getting at it, and I witnessed it firsthand. They are pretty good. I kind of had no idea what was going on most of the lesson. I could pick up a thing or two here. Their teacher, Emma, though, an absolute legend. The boys love her. They call her almost like a mum. She came out to a recent game, the game that Eric McHugh won Estrella of the match, and before Eric did the interview with me, he's like, oh, hold on, give me a second. I was like, okay, I wonder what's going on. He runs over to the crowd and gives her a hug and says hi to his teacher before he comes and does the Estrella of the match interview. That's how much Emma, their teacher, means to them. So pretty cool for them to be doing that.
Outstanding. That's going to be a foul, and San Antonio is going to have a free kick from an interesting spot. Bailone taken down by Borelli, who sees the caution. Sergei Damjanchuk explaining things to the team captain for Locomotive.
Obviously, this benefits San Antonio with a goal lead. Around 5 minutes of regular time left, just allows them to relax a little bit, take some time, and try to see this out. But for El Paso, you have to think, dude, they got to get something going here as soon as possible.
Well, you know, and it's interesting. This is a season that lasts from March to November, if you get that far down, get that far into the playoffs. March to October regular season. It is a marathon and not a sprint. San Antonio went the entire month of June without a win. El Paso having its troubles now. Do they have answers tonight? To the far post and nodded wide. Bailone was there to rise up for it. Couldn't make square contact, and it'll be a goal kick.
Nearly a super substitute coming on and doing it yet again. As Rachel said, 4 goals, 3 of them off the bench. El Paso getting a break.
86th minute, Locomotive needing to find some offensive answers quickly. Kostashin trying to find Petrovic. Kind of fires that one blindly, and he's upset with himself for it. Goal kick for Jordan Farr, who will indeed take his time. Petrovic, the obligatory run-up. That's the most quiet Jordan Farr has been this match.
Great personality,
oh, man.
As we've said.
Oh, that one's sliced. Fortunate to still be up in play. Locomotive able to deal with it. Here's Chaparrera. Native El Pasoan. As we're fond of saying, the man who showed up for an open tryout and never left. Worked with his brother doing roofs in El Paso. And 5 years a pro with Locomotive FC now.
I'm sure he's happy to be doing this instead of...
Especially this time of the
construction, yeah.
Woof. Borelli to Petrovic. First time we've really seen the Swede be able to work in from the left side. Gets Gomez to go down. Gets the deflection. It'll roll out and be a corner kick.
Little signs of life here from Locomotive FC.
Set pieces. Locomotive has scored on a few. Hasn't been a huge strength. Petar Petrovic will be the man to take it. Drives it to the far post. Lucho in for the skip. And it's Lyons again. Really wasn't able to make square contact with that.
Just couldn't get that right boot behind it. As you said, the second time he's had a fairly solid opportunity off a corner kick. Nice service from Petrovic. Good header from Lucho, but just couldn't get enough behind it. Good Lions.
Farr sends this one far. I think everybody has to say that at least once, don't they?
I got nothing. Yeah, nothing you can add to that. He's going to the distance.
No need. Here's Lyons. Sanupe. Chapa. Ja'Cory Hayes with some good pressure. Chapa chased all the way back and now sends it across for Pavkovic. Lots of empty space for Bence Pavkovic, the Hungarian. Great to see he and Miles Lyons sign for the 2024 season. Calvillo sprays it to Lyons. 89th minute, Locomotive needs to make it work. Chapa. Borelli. In for Lucho, gets a piece. Kostashin trying to get there. Brought down, and Fabian Garcia does his job. Olowashi called for the foul on McHugh. We've got a stoppage for an injured San Antonio FC player. Sergei Demyanchuk made sure to note that the clock is stopped on his wrist as we hit the 90th minute. As we do our Brian Birds moving into the next match. You won't have to wait long, Locos fans. It's Saturday night. Right back here at Southwest University Park versus RGV Toros FC. Interestingly, Locomotive, we're hearing 5 minutes of stoppage time. Locomotive has not faced RGV to this point, but they're going to face them 2 of the next 3 matches, Colin.
Yeah, they'll get a good taste of what they're like both here and down in the Rio Grande Valley. Certainly, I would imagine they want to go into Saturday's match with at least a point, though, Duke, because you always want to defend your home field. That's not something El Paso has necessarily done a great job of this year. All 4 of their losses coming at home. So going into that next match at home, certainly they want to get a point here.
Locomotive trying to avert their 5th home loss tonight at San Antonio FC. With them stride for stride, it'll be another corner conceded as Petrovic. Takes it again, and 5 minutes is the official signal. 5 minutes of stoppage time. So, some opportunity here for Locomotive. Petrovic drives it into the middle, punched away by Farr. Locomotive with the throw. Chapa. Back from Sanupa. McHugh. And around to Petrovic. That's where Locomotive wants it. Petar Petrovic drives it in. Back and forth. Hammers it far post and far. Fingertip save. Took a couple of deflections, but that is why Petar Petrovic is who he is.
That was going to be on frame if Farr hadn't got a hand on it. If we get a look at the top angle, I mean, just very few players have the ability to even think about making an attempt like that, Duke. And what a save there by Farr. All credit to him as well.
Kostashin will take it from the right wing for El Paso. As further discussion between Sergei Demyanchuk and Jordan Farr.
Looks to be holding his wrist.
Farr holding his wrist. Petar Petrovic in and out on Shannon Gomez and then back in again for the shot. Here's the corner, Kostashin. Far post driven in, and that one's popped over. Petrovic trying to first time that one. Wasn't able to settle it. First time volley, as you point out. Not many players even think about things like that. Petar Petrovic does.
And again, he's scored probably the best goal of the season thus far for Locomotive FC a couple of months ago on that ball over the top from Dennis Kostishin that he hammered home. He has the ability to do it, but unable to do it there. And now El Paso again, just 3 minutes left to get something done.
Kostashin able to settle. McHugh up and over. Farr will take his time. Lions keeping him honest. San Antonio looking to square away second place all to the lonesome and take a lead in the Copa Tejas standings. The defending Copa Tejas champions, defending USL Championship winners as well. And it will be a substitution. Carter Manley coming on for Rita Zuhir.
Of course,
Zuhir with a brace.
The goal scorer tonight for San Antonio FC, really the hero for them. Those two second half goals within 4 minutes of each other. And he will get a well-deserved rest as they try to see this one out, Duke.
Locomotive has scored one goal. Kind of got him off the schneid, as you pointed out in the pregame, over 200 minutes without one. But they need a second if they want anything from this. Here's Lions. Lucho to the byline. We'll earn a corner. Well, they'll call it a goal kick. Hernandez says he got that off of Lucho. Talks it over with the assistant referee, but the call is made. Goal kick. We'll see.
Yeah, that's the right call.
Well done by the assistant referee. And into the final minute of stoppage time. It's going to be a foul on Pavkovic.
Bensay's got to be careful, Duke. I believe the next yellow he gets will be a suspension for the next match on yellow card accumulation.
7 so far this season, on the verge of his 8th. But with only seconds remaining, San Antonio will certainly use every last drop of the clock they can before a restart. John Burklow and Brian Clairhout to talk things over. Locomotive looking for answers. San Antonio the team to find them off the foot of Rita Zoo here so far tonight. We are past the 95. Good diving effort to push that back. Benny Diaz keeps it moving. Last chance. McHugh trying to sort it out to Herrera. Lions well defended and issued out by Batista. Locomotive throw. We continue to play past the 95. But surely, Locomotive's last opportunity. Calvillo to the touchline. Chapa Herrera coming together with Hernandez, who's taken a lot, and that's going to do it for the game. I hear the 3 whistles. The match is over. Hernandez went right at Chapa Herrera after a rough foul, and tempers boiling over. Eder Borelli. But I believe the match is done.
Yeah, I heard the 3 whistles as well, Duke, but the fireworks are starting. It seems.
Who says it wasn't fireworks night on a Wednesday? Yeah, a lot of pushing and shoving, but it is all finished here at Southwest University Park, and it is San Antonio FC as Borelli and Oluwaseyi along with Lamar Batista still talking things over. But it's done tonight. The final score, San Antonio FC defeats Locomotive 2-1. Sanupe getting into it with Oluwaseyi. But it is San Antonio FC, the defending champions, showing their mettle here in El Paso this evening. We're back to wrap things up here from Southwest University Park as we continue. Your final score, San Antonio's FC 2, El Paso 1.
Brings the first ever MMA event to Southwest University Park on Friday, August 4th. Sabina Mazo headlines the night. Don't miss out on any of the thrilling action. Tickets are on sale now at southwestuniversitypark.com and the Durango Street box office. Doors open at 6 p.m. on fight night with the first bout at 7 p.m. and the main card at 9 p.m. Special thanks to our sponsors Speaking Rock, Bud Light, Cesar Ornelas, Subaru El Paso, and Barrio Eats and Drinks. We'll see you at Southwest University Park on August 4th.
Welcome back. 2-1 your final score, San Antonio FC over Locomotive FC, with a couple of second half goals here tonight at Southwest University Park. Let's take a look at this pair of strikes by Rita Zoo here. A brace tonight for the Canadian. Outstanding. Little touch by Oluwaseyi. And Zoo here. At least 25 yards off the back end. Absolutely huge. And then another one for the Canadian later tonight. Just out, both of them outside of the area. My goodness. Zoo here with quite the evening. Those make the difference for San Antonio. And of course, afterward, the fireworks, which are continuing here at Southwest University Park as we walk off the pitch. Sergei Demyanchuk with yellow cards, red card for Lamar Batista. We saw that, and more.
I think a yellow for Jorge Hernandez. Eric Calvillo, I believe, got one for El Paso Locomotive FC, as I think it's the head coach for San Antonio FC.
No, that's one of the assistants.
One of the assistants for San Antonio. Talking with the official, we had Tani Oluwaseyi was getting after it with some fans, inciting the fans. Jordan Farr, I think, may have gotten a yellow as well. I mean, all of this has happened while we've been in a break, as really they lost complete control of this as the match ended.
And that was it for the match. The hard foul kind of set things off. Oluwaseyi wants to celebrate in front of the Locomotive crowd. Locomotive losing tonight versus San Antonio, but a chance to come on back and make it work Saturday evening versus RGV. Your final score, San Antonio FC 2, Locomotive 1. So long, everybody.
rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.